welcome to Chabad Youth. Good night, and today we're going to read a story called The Secret of the Leaves. And I actually love doing this story time because I get to go back to my bookshelf and see all the amazing books that I loved reading to my kids when they were younger, and they really had such amazing messages. So I'm really excited to read you this one today because I think it has really good messages to share with all of you. So I hope everyone is comfortable, is relaxing, and is ready for our story. So it's called The Secret of the Leaves, and we have here a picture of a boy that seems to be listening to a secret of the leaves. So here we go. Okay. No one paid much attention to what Beryl had to say. Not that he didn't speak loud enough. Beryl spoke very loud. In fact, he yelled a lot. I don't know how many of you yell a lot when you think that you want people to listen to you. Often we yell because we think then people will listen. But this book is interesting because it's teaching us that sometimes yelling is not the way to get people to listen. One day in school, the teacher wrote questions on the chalkboard. The boy in front of Beryl stood up, and Beryl couldn't see the board. He couldn't see what was written on the board because the boy had stood up in front of him. "Sit down," hollered Beryl. But the boy didn't sit down. To make matters worse, instead of punishing the boy who was standing up, the teacher punished Beryl. He had to write 100 times, "We don't scream in class." I don't know how many of you have had to write lines. It's not super fun. And here is Beryl writing 100 times, "We don't scream in class." And you can imagine that Beryl is pretty upset because he feels like, why did he get in trouble when the boy was standing in front of him? And not only did he get in trouble, but he had to write so many lines. During recess, Beryl was playing ball with his friends Dovey and Sholem. The ball flew high in the sky, then dropped back right on Beryl's nose. "Why did you throw the ball at my nose?" screamed Beryl. "Don't you know how to play?" "Oh, stop hollering," said Dovey as he threw the ball back to Sholem. So the friends didn't care that he was screaming. They were in fact getting angry at him that he's always screaming. When Beryl came home, he growled, "I'm hungry. I want my supper now." Not very nice to come home and scream at our mothers who are working so hard to manage everything in the home. Beryl's mother was so tired of hearing him yell all the time that she ignored him. "Why doesn't anyone ever listen to what I say?" wondered Beryl. So he's screaming at everyone, and everyone's seeming to ignore him. He's not getting any of the results that he wanted from his screaming. The next afternoon, little Avi fell asleep. This was the opportunity Beryl had been waiting for. At last he could build a big city without his baby brother destroying it. He took out blocks, people, farm animals, cars and trains and went to work. He built houses, playgrounds, stores and a school. He built a farm to provide food for all the people and a road for all the cars. Then his big sister Sarah came home from school. She walked into the room to put away her coat. All of a sudden, crunch! Sarah accidentally stepped on her house. "Go away!" shrieked Beryl. "You ruined my city!" "I'm sorry," said Sarah. "It was an accident." This time Beryl yelled even louder. "It was no accident! Stop making up excuses!" So he's feeling very angry, but again, he's yelling. Beryl's shouts woke up little Avi. Avi climbed out of his crib and headed straight for Beryl's city. "Oh no," hollered Beryl. "The monster is coming. He'll break my whole city." "Me look," said Avi. "Can't say moo." Avi reached for the cow and the barn came crashing down. Now Beryl yells even louder, "My city! You broke my city!" Avi began to wail. Beryl's mother came running in from the kitchen. "Why is there so much noise here? Look, Beryl, you woke up the baby. Now you'll have to watch Avi for an hour so I can get supper made." Beryl felt very sorry for himself. How could he keep a world champion troublemaker out of trouble for a whole hour? Beryl thought and thought, then he had an idea. "Mummy," he said, "may I take Avi for a walk in the park? He will like the trees, the grass, the flowers, and the birds." "Certainly, Beryl, that is a wonderful idea." Beryl put Avi in his stroller. Mother gave them apples and crackers with peanut butter to take along, and off they went. Soon they came to the park. Looks like a lovely park. You can see the birds and the butterflies and the flowers. The park was big, shady and quiet. Overhead, puffy white clouds drifted across a bright blue sky. Beryl and Avi smelt the flowers, turned somersaults in the grass, chased butterflies and listened to the birds sing. Suddenly, a breeze whipped by. It sailed through the leaves and gently shook the branches. The leaves rustled. Beryl and Avi stopped to listen to the delightful, soothing sound. Whoosh went the leaves. It seemed to Beryl the leaves were whispering a special message to him. "Do you want to learn our secret?" they asked him. "Yes," shouted Beryl eagerly. "Whoosh, speak softly. Then everyone will listen to you, just like you stopped to listen to us. Shh." "But I get angry," said Beryl. "How can I help yelling when I'm angry?" "Whoosh, speak softly will calm you and everyone else down," said the leaves. "Then you won't be angry anymore. Shh." Beryl thanked the leaves for telling him their secret. "Whoosh, don't thank us," said the leaves. "Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, was the wisest of all men. He said, Divrei Chachamim benachas nishmaim. Wise people speak softly." We learned his secret from him. Beryl put Avi in the stroller and headed for home. Now, do you think Beryl is going to listen to the secret of the leaves? And do you think it will help him? And maybe we can all think, do we scream a lot when we want things? We want our mother to listen to us, our siblings, our teacher, our friends. How do we go about it? Do we yell a lot or do we speak softly? And what makes people listen more? Does yelling make people listen more? Or maybe speaking softly? It was a very important lesson that the leaves were teaching Beryl. When they were right in front of the house, Avi climbed out of the stroller and sat down on the pavement. "No go home," said Avi, stamping his feet. "Me stay outside." Now, how do you think Beryl is going to react? Beryl was about to yell at him, but he remembered the leaves' secret. "Avi," said Beryl tenderly, taking his hand, "we had a nice time in the park, and now it's time to go home. Please come with me." Did Avi listen? Did it work? Lo and behold, Avi came. "It works," thought Beryl. And look, Avi's listening. He's sitting down, but he's putting his hand out. It worked. Beryl was very, very hungry after his long walk in the park. He dashed towards the kitchen. Suddenly, he caught a whiff of kasha, the food he liked the least in the whole world. He wanted to scream. But he remembered the leaves' secret. "Mummy," he said softly, "can I please have something else instead?" Beryl's mother spun around in surprise. She could hardly believe her ears. "Yes, Beryl, since you asked so nicely." Beryl smiled as he happily twirled spaghetti around his fork, and his brother's eating the kasha and he's eating his delicious spaghetti. So it worked once again, and he got the dinner that he loved. The next day, 10 minutes before school ended, the teacher announced, "Boys, you've been learning so well that we finished the whole Chumash a week early. As a reward, I'd like to take you on a trip. Is there somewhere you'd like to go?" Dovi's hand shot up. "To the park! We can row boats and play baseball." Shlomo objected. "To the zoo. We can see elephants and lions and monkeys and hippos and..." 30 boys began to talk at once. In the middle of the tumult, Beryl said quietly, almost in a whisper, "I think..." Now, in the olden days, Beryl would have probably screamed what he thought. "I want to go to the park. I want to go to the zoo." But he's learned his lesson that when he screams, actually no one listens. So instead, he's speaking softly. And already he saw that Avi listened to him. Then he saw that his mother listened to him. And now he's going to see whether the trick is going to work with his friends. And don't forget, he's in the classroom. Everyone's screaming at once. And we would think, if I scream, that's the only way people will listen to me because everyone's screaming. But he's going to try the leaf secret and he's going to see if it works. So he says quietly, "I think..." Let's see what he thinks. Suddenly, the other children stopped talking. They all waited to hear what Beryl will say. "I think we should go to the safari," said Beryl. "It has a park and a zoo." What a good idea to combine both. And what a better idea to say it softly. "Great," everyone said. "We love Beryl's idea." Beryl beamed. "How lucky I am," he said to himself, "to have learnt the leaves' secret." Now, what a special book this is, because Beryl thought that the best way for people to listen to him was to scream. And I think a lot of us feel that way. We think if we scream, then everyone's going to listen to us because we're screaming so loudly. And that's how we're going to get our point across. And maybe we get angry at our friend, maybe we get upset at our sibling, maybe we want our parents to listen to us and we start screaming and we think everyone's going to listen if I scream. But actually, it was amazing that he learned the leaf secret, that wise people from Shlomo HaMelech, that wise people speak softly. And when he spoke softly, all of a sudden, everyone listened. And I think that's something so special that we can each take into our day. That when we're about to scream because we want something and we're about to scream so loud, let's try speak softly. And let's see if people listen. Let's see if it makes a difference. So everyone, let's start from tomorrow. Let's try it. As soon as we're ready to scream, let's think about the leaf secret. And let's try talk softly. And let's see if people listen. I hope they do, and I'm sure they will. And I hope everyone has a beautiful night and a good day tomorrow with remembering the leaf secret and not screaming. Good night, everyone.